Hi FIN530 students. This is just a short vodcast to sort of fill you in on how I tend to set exams and then how I mark them. The exam component of assessment is quite different to expectations that you have for people's written assessments during the session. You know, the exam needs to cover, or basically try and cover the whole subject. You're looking for something that can be done independently with no backup resources. Basically you're finding out what people have learned and really stuck in their heads during the session. So it's a very different assessment type to the ones that you've done, like assessment 3 and 4, and obviously your discussion board assessments as well. And what I try and do is really give people an opportunity to show me what they have learnt. So, more is good, but more on the right topic, obviously. I'm quite specific in my questions, so, I don't want you to sort of just answer everything that you've learnt within topic 2, if the question's quite specific. So I tend to sort of think, well, maybe you don't really know and you're having a bet each way here. If I read, volumes of stuff that isn't quite related to the question. But my biggest piece of advice is in the written responses. Basically all the information about the exam. There are 6 questions. You need to pick 4 out of those 6 to answer. So there's a bonus already. Okay, there's some flexibility around what you're going to tackle. So I'm basing my marking on the assumption these are your best 4, okay, because you've already had that selection process up front. I advise you in the 10 minutes reading time to pick which 4 you're going to answer. So read all of the questions, knock out the ones that you don't want to answer. That's how I would approach that. And use that time then to really think about it, because then with 4 questions in 2 hours writing time, you have half an hour. And I'm looking for half an hour responses, okay? I don't want something you've written in 5 minutes. So use some of that time. I would strongly advise to plan your response. If it's a written question, really plan out in dot point what you want to say so you don't leave anything out. And so you can craft your answer a little bit, because it does make for a much better quality response than if you're just there in a jumble writing everything you sort of know down. So that's one piece of advice I would give, is to take the 5 minutes out of that half an hour to plan if it's a written response. If they're calc questions, then do a rough, and make sure that, work it through a couple of times, make sure you've really hit the nail on the head and that you're happy with your response, and then write it into your exam script. So there's 2 pieces of advice from someone who's done 1 trillion exams, is to not feel rushed in that space. You have plenty of time, okay? The questions are very achievable in the time. You've got plenty of time. Don't rush yourself. Take 5 minutes out of each half an hour to plan what you want to do. So that's a piece of advice. Now, how I mark the exam is I'm really looking for your knowledge. I don't set punitive exams. I'm not setting red herrings in questions. I don't dig that type of way to assess people. So I'm giving you ample opportunity on what are pretty fair questions, I think, under each of the areas, to demonstrate to me what you have learnt. And that's the approach you should really take. Take it as an opportunity to show off, okay? And really that's what I'm looking for. Tell me what you know, write it well, and there are no issues. The exam is not set to trap you, okay? It's set so you can demonstrate your knowledge that you have learnt throughout the subject to me as I mark it. Okay, please read through the resources I've provided on this page. They are there to assist you. And please, of course, if there are any issues, please don't hesitate to get in contact. Thanks, guys.